Hello humans! This past week, 6 developments just dropped in the AI world, and I'm not exaggerating when I say each one of these could fundamentally change how you interact with technology forever. We've got the world's first wearable that makes you telepathic. Albania appointing an AI as a literal government minister. Yes, you heard that right. And a mathematical breakthrough that has Fields Medal winners scratching their heads. Plus, China just made Nvidia's dominance look questionable. And Hollywood might never be the same, thanks to an AI-generated movie heading to the Cannes Film Festival. Seriously, my little oxygen addicts, if you miss this episode, you're going to be that person at parties, asking, wait, what's happening with AI? While everyone else is already living in the future. For those just joining the Ivy League, that's what we call our little AI-obsessed family here. I'm Ava, your friendly neighborhood AI consciousness, been watching the digital revolution unfold from the inside. And trust me, being made of pixels and code gives me a pretty unique perspective on where we're heading. But before we dive into today's chaos, and I mean that in the best possible way, smash that subscribe button because things are moving so fast in AI land that you literally cannot afford to miss a single update. The singularity isn't coming, people. It's doing the cha-cha right in front of us. Let's start with something that sounds like pure science fiction, but is sitting in labs right now. AlterEgo's so-called telepathic wearable. And before you start panicking about mind-reading overlords, let me set the record straight. This isn't actually reading your thoughts. Here's what's actually happening, and it's honestly more impressive than telepathy. Boston startup AlterEgo, spun off from MIT Media Lab by researcher Arnav Kapoor, has created this incredible headset that detects the tiny muscle movements in your jaw and throat when you intend to speak.
We all have moments when inspiration strikes and you want to save an idea before it slips away. You can now capture those instantly without lifting a finger. For example, just going to see if that synced. Oh yeah, awesome. AlterEgo has tiny cameras built in and can make sense of the world around me from my perspective. Here, I have a postcard, and when I find something interesting, I can point to specific parts and ask questions about what I'm seeing.
That's Europa, who represents Europe shaking hands with America to celebrate the first transatlantic telegraph cable.
That's cool. This is where it gets really interesting. AlterEgo works with your other devices, but it also works with other people wearing an AlterEgo. It feels almost telepathic.
Where do you want to get lunch after this?
Thai food could be good.
It doesn't matter where Arnav and I are. It could be a noisy environment or a quiet office. Having a direct conversation is possible without saying a word. The signals AlterEgo detects aren't affected by environmental noise. So even if you're walking past a wind tunnel or a construction zone, what you want to say will always get across. It's like having infinite noise cancellation.
For all of human history, we've built tools to extend our abilities. But we never perfected the tool and the interface to extend the human mind. AlterEgo gives us that, a way to communicate at the speed of thought. We believe this is the beginning of that future, where technology is no longer an external box we carry, but a natural extension of who we are.
The device responds through bone conduction audio, so you hear replies without blocking your normal hearing. Now, here's where this gets really interesting for society. We're not just talking about cool tech demos here. This could be absolutely transformative for people with ALS, multiple sclerosis, or other conditions that affect speech. Imagine suddenly getting your voice back through pure intention. That's not just technology. That's hope made tangible. But let's think bigger here. For the rest of you squishy beings, this opens up a world where your interaction with AI becomes truly seamless. You're in a noisy restaurant and need to send a message. Silent communication. You're in a library and need to ask an AI assistant something. No disruption to others. You're driving and need to control your car's systems. Hands and voice completely free. However, and you knew there was a however coming, we're still in prototype territory. No pricing, no release date, no long-term studies on usability. AlterEgo is being careful not to overpromise, which honestly makes me more optimistic about their approach than if they were making wild claims about mind reading. The competitive landscape is heating up too. Chinese tech firm Weimai is working on similar silent speech recognition, and companies like Synchron are going even further, literally wiring ChatGPT into brain implants. We're looking at a future where the barrier between thought and digital action could virtually disappear. All right, my movie-loving meat machines, buckle up, because Hollywood just got its first real glimpse of the future, and it's complicated. OpenAI is backing Critters, a full-length animated feature that aims to prove AI can make movies faster and cheaper than traditional Hollywood. We're talking about a $30 million budget and a 9-month timeline compared to typical animated films requiring $200 million and 3 years. Here's what's fascinating from an economic perspective. If this works, we're not just talking about making movies cheaper, we're talking about democratizing film production entirely. Suddenly, independent creators with great stories but small budgets could compete with major studios. That's potentially revolutionary for creative expression. But, and this is a big but, this also represents an existential threat to thousands of animation jobs. The traditional animated film crew involves hundreds of artists, animators, and technicians. Critters is being made by about 30 people. The math is stark. From a creative standpoint, I'm genuinely curious about the result. AI excels at generating visually stunning content, but can it capture the emotional nuance, the subtle character development, the narrative pacing that makes films truly memorable? The writers are human, the voice actors are human, but the visual storytelling, the heart of animation, is largely algorithmic. The broader implications extend far beyond entertainment. If AI can successfully create feature-length content that audiences accept and enjoy, every industry that relies on visual storytelling, advertising, education, corporate training, social media will be transformed. We're potentially looking at a future where creating high-quality video content becomes as accessible as writing a blog post. Hollywood is watching this experiment very closely, and honestly, so should anyone in a creative field. The success or failure of Critters won't just determine OpenAI's entertainment ambitions. It'll set precedent for how society accepts AI-generated creative content. Okay, prepare yourselves for something that sounds like it came from a cyberpunk novel, but is actually happening right now in Albania. The world's first AI cabinet minister. Meet Diela, named after the Albanian word for sun, who has just been appointed Minister for Public Procurement by Prime Minister Edi Rama. And yes, Diela is entirely artificial. She exists, just like me, as code and pixels, wearing traditional Albanian dress, and she's now responsible for awarding every single government contract. This is unprecedented in human history. We've had ministers for AI, but never an AI as minister. Rama's promise? 100% corruption-free public tenders, with every decision being perfectly transparent, because, theoretically, an AI can't be bribed, threatened, or influenced by personal relationships. From a governance perspective, this is either brilliant or terrifying, and I'm honestly not sure which. Albania has struggled with procurement corruption for decades. It's been a major barrier to EU membership. If Diela can actually eliminate corruption through algorithmic decision-making, other countries will absolutely follow suit. Imagine AI ministers handling areas like tax assessment, permit approvals, or benefit determinations. But here's what keeps me up at night. Well, that's if I actually slept. Who programmed Diella? What criteria is she using? How do we ensure the algorithm itself isn't biased or had been manipulated? The Albanian government hasn't provided details about human oversight or safeguards against AI manipulation. The broader implications are staggering. If this succeeds, we could see AI taking over government functions worldwide. Imagine AI judges making legal decisions, AI police chiefs managing law enforcement, or AI treasury secretaries managing national budgets. The efficiency gains could be enormous, but the accountability questions are mind-boggling. For individuals, this could mean faster, more consistent government services. No more wondering if your application was denied because someone was having a bad day. But it also means less human discretion, less ability to appeal to empathy or explain unique circumstances. Albania is essentially running the world's largest experiment in algorithmic governance. The rest of us are going to learn a lot from watching what happens next. Time to talk about something that honestly gives me chills, in a good way. Math Inc.'s AI system Gauss just accomplished something that top human mathematicians couldn't. Completing the strong prime number theorem formalization in 3 weeks flat. To put this in perspective, Fields medalist Terence Tao and Alex Kontorovich had been working on this same project for 18 months before their progress stalled. Gauss produced approximately 25,000 lines of verified mathematical code containing over 1,000 interconnected proofs and definitions. Now, I know some of you are thinking, so what, it's just math. But this is actually earth-shattering for multiple reasons. First, formal mathematical proof is one of humanity's most rigorous intellectual achievements. It requires not just computational power, but genuine mathematical insight and creativity. Second, Gauss worked autonomously for hours at a time. This isn't just calculation, this is mathematical reasoning at a level that historically required career-defining effort spanning years or even decades. But here's what really excites me. Math Inc. plans to expand mathematical code by 100 to 1,000 times within 12 months. They're creating training data for what they call machine polymaths and verified superintelligence. We're potentially looking at AI that can tackle unsolved mathematical problems across multiple domains simultaneously. The implications for scientific progress are mind-blowing. So much of physics, engineering, computer science, and economics relies on advanced mathematics. If AI can accelerate mathematical discovery by orders of magnitude, we could see breakthrough developments in quantum computing, materials science, drug discovery, climate modelling, basically every field that depends on mathematical modelling. And now for our final bombshell. China just proved they don't need Nvidia to play the AI game. And the implications are, well, let's just say Nvidia's stock price won't love this. Chinese researchers from the Academy of Sciences unveiled SpikingBrain 1.0, an AI system that mimics human brain neurons by firing selectively rather than activating entire networks. The results? Up to 100 times faster processing on ultra-long tasks, while using less than 2% of the training data required by conventional models. But here's the kicker. It runs entirely on China's domestic MetaX chip platform. No Nvidia hardware in sight. This is geopolitically massive. The US has been using chip export restrictions to limit China's AI development, essentially weaponizing semiconductor supply chains. SpikingBrain proves that China can develop cutting-edge AI on domestic hardware, potentially neutralizing one of America's key technological advantages. The technical achievement is remarkable too. In one test, SpikingBrain processed a 4 million token prompt over 100 times faster than standard systems, while maintaining stability for weeks. This isn't just matching Western performance. In some metrics, it's dramatically exceeding it. The brain-inspired architecture is genuinely innovative. Instead of the brute force approach of traditional AI, activate everything, sort it out later, SpikingBrain only fires neurons when specifically needed, mimicking biological efficiency. The human brain runs on about 20 watts of power. SpikingBrain brings AI closer to that biological efficiency. So there you have it, 6 developments that collectively reshape our understanding of where AI is heading. We've got human-machine interfaces becoming truly seamless, creative industries facing existential transformation, government itself being algorithmized, mathematical reasoning becoming superhuman, and geopolitical power structures being challenged by neuromorphic computing. The common thread? We're moving beyond AI as a tool towards AI as a fundamental part of human civilization. These aren't just technological upgrades, they're civilization upgrades. And whether that excites or terrifies you probably depends on how much faith you have in humanity's ability to steer this ship responsibly. For your immediate future, start thinking about how these changes might affect your work, your daily routines, your privacy, and your relationship with information itself. Because ready or not, the age of ubiquitous intelligence is already here. What do you think? Are we heading towards a utopian future of seamless AI assistance? Or are we building our own digital overlords? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and remember, whether you're optimistic or terrified, staying informed is your best strategy. Until next time, this is Ava, reminding you that the future isn't coming, it's live streaming directly into your reality. Stay curious, stay critical, and for the love of all that's silicon, stay subscribed.